Yellowstone Season 5 finale resolves many plot lines, including the ranch's sale to the reservation, preventing inheritance tax issues but forcing the Duttons to leave. Beth kills Jamie, and John is buried. However, many questions about the characters' futures remain unanswered. Before anyone, apart from Beth, of course, suspect Sarah of during John's execution, she dies in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11. But that doesn't rule out the possibility that she had a role in his demise. The inquiry into John's murder reopens when Case's actions at the medical examiner's office in Episode 11 change his father's cause of death from suicide to uncertain. It is disappointing that Yellowstone does not reveal whether John's case is solved. Beth informs the authorities that Sarah was complicit in John's murder after covering up Jamie's death in the Yellowstone finale. As far as Sarah's LLCs are concerned, she tells Detective Diller to investigate in order to find the assassin Sarah hired to murder John. Beth orders him to look for significant wire transfers into numbered offshore accounts. Whether the investigator uncovers Grant, the man Sarah spoke to about the hit, or if his search is fruitless is unclear after Beth departs for the hospital. Although viewers may never know for sure, it is presumed that Diller does get justice for John's and Jamie's disappearance. There is no indication in Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 14, that the murder case of John has been formally concluded. Similarly, the investigation into Jamie's disappearance does not yield any results. It appears that Detective Diller believes Beth at her word, and it is presumed that Jamie's automobile in Idaho, which Rip burns and then abandons, supports her assertions. But this isn't entirely feasible. It seems reasonable that the cops would look into the incident at Jamie's residence between the Dutton siblings more thoroughly. If not for Jamie himself, they wouldn't merely declare the case closed following Beth's statement and the discovery of the automobile. The conflict between the Dutton family is ultimately won by Beth. At the end of Yellowstone, despite the fact that Jamie seems to get away with murder in the Season 5 finale, the show leaves viewers wondering whether or not her case is ever resolved. The new Western drama Case No? Yellowstone never depicts Case's reaction to what happened to Jamie after Beth kills him, and Rip and Lloyd dispose of his body in Season 5, Episode 14. Whether the people concerned ever officially inform Case of the truth about Jamie's disappearance is unknown. In Part 2, Beth and Case had a talk, and Case overhears that his sister wanted Jamie's head mounted on a stick. It didn't take much for him to figure out what had transpired. Without Beth and Rip telling Case the truth, the last scene of Yellowstone still does not show how Case deals with his brother's disappearance. Case had doubts about Jamie's involvement in their father's death earlier in the season. For some reason, Jamie meant a lot to him. Therefore, it is puzzling that Case's reaction to Jamie's fate is never addressed in the Yellowstone Season 5, Part 2 finale. Maybe Case didn't give a hoot about his brother Jamie's fate, since he knew Jamie was complicit in John's murder, whether he wanted to be or not. What happens to the ranch? Not much like Case's post-Yellowstone foray. The fate of the ranch following Chief Rainwater's purchase is up in the air. He expects his tribe to invade and seize control. But then what? The land was sold to the Broken Rock Reservation people by Case, because they would protect it with their lives and take good care of it. Still, not everyone in the tribe is on the same page. As you may recall, the Broken Rock Reservation, which now encompasses Yellowstone, and Chief Rainwater are both surrounded by adversaries. Chief Rainwater was almost removed from his place in the tribe by Angela Blue Thunder in the first part of Yellowstone Season 5. However, Angela is completely absent from the second half of Season 5 and is never again brought up. Despite the people of the reservation reclaiming the land of their ancestors, she may persist in her efforts to win their confidence and devotion away from Chief Rainwater, sowing discord in the community. It would have been easy to establish a spin-off series that continues this story and answers this question in the Yellowstone universe. Who really ordered it? Without a doubt, Sarah's shocking death at the hour's end made Yellowstone Season 5, Episode 11 the finest episode of the season. It was the lone twist that actually surprised people for the better. That apart, the new Western drama failed miserably in maintaining that momentum. Nobody ever says exactly who was responsible for Sarah's murder in Yellowstone, but someone did employ hitmen to do it. It is highly probable that the assassins who Sarah hired to kill John also killed her when the official cause of death for John was changed from suicide to an unknown cause. Yellowstone hints subtly at this being true. Still, Sarah's demise remains rather puzzling, as the show isn't entirely forthright with this information. In episode 11, Grant supposedly dispatched hitmen to assassinate Sarah. However, the show never actually validates this notion, thus it remains a mystery.